All right. What's up, everybody? And welcome to the Live Wholism podcast. I am going to be your host today, Ryan.
And I'm, and I'm Lucy.
She was on my... And we are going to start this off as we always do with the Serenity Prayer. Higher power,
Grant us the serenity to accept the things we cannot change, the courage to change the things we can, and the wisdom to know the difference.
All right, y'all. By the way, if you hear something in the background, my neighbor, who is the best ever, he always cuts our grass and stuff. And
Aww, that is so sweet.
Yeah, he's a great guy. And so he's doing something to help out with apparently the grass back there.
And you're not going to go tell him to stop cutting your grass for free.
Hell no. Hell no.
Just say thank you.
Yeah, that's all. So, anyways, guys, we are going to go ahead and put it out there that, like, if you have any questions, any thoughts, anything like that, any topics, anything that you're thinking about that me and Lucy can talk about, that's not just me and her. Feel free to write us on Instagram. Feel free to email us at thelivewholismpodcast@gmail.com. You can even write us a comment on YouTube as well. Pretty excited about that. Or leave us a comment and rating on, what's that thing called? On whatever you're streaming this from. So, y'all, I'm so tired. But we don't have any today, so we're going to go ahead and get into what we have now dubbed the meat of the podcast, which is what we've been doing to stay whole physically and mentally and emotionally and what we've been trying to do to get ourselves together spiritually. Yeah, I'm telling you, how tired do I sound right now?
I was like, I wonder if he is going to get that word mentally,
Was I struggling with it?
I felt like the energy, like I felt like you needed to get the energy and bring all that word. I can just see how tired you are.
Golly, it's crazy.
Okay, wait, you're the host. Look at me trying to take over. But I want you to share. I kind of want you to go first to share what you've been through that's so tired. Unless you want me to go first.
What I've been through? Well, my God. So anyway, all right, well, I'll go first. So I have been, you guys have heard me talk about that I've been taking up the sport tennis. But so yesterday I got back into, this week, I've been trying to get back into working. My God, that's loud. Yes, I mean, he's right at the window. It's great. And so, but yesterday, I got back into, for everybody who doesn't know, I've been out of the gym for like the last few weeks. So I thought that yesterday would be a great time to get back into the gym and get to doing like my leg workouts and stuff. And that was tough because I thought to myself, it's time to go hard. Like, I'm excited. And I was doing some of the more harder workouts, leg workout wise. And I knew the whole entire time, like, it won't be the best idea considering that I'm going to go play tennis later on tonight. However, we'll deal with that when we come to it. And so, and it came. I had to go play tennis later on that night. And I got to be honest, like, I was feeling good. Actually, walking in there, I was just like, this is not going to be good. But as I started playing, I was like, show me something to like, can I like get myself a little bit back together by the second set? Like my body wasn't tired, but my legs were, as Lucy described dead. So my brain knew what could still happen, but I was trying to run and my legs just sat there like a freaking stubborn dog. Like, it was insane. So, I mean, I went to bed last night. I was just, my entire body now is exhausted because I did like full body workouts too. Like, there's this one workout I was taught where you put like the bar on your back, but you do lunges with the bar, but like there's like one thing added where like you do a little bit of like a front bend with just your body and stuff. And that like is a whole body workout and stuff. And so every single time like you bend over, you pop back up while doing the lunge. It's a great workout, but it is exhausting. So that's what I decided to do, which I have not done in like 2 or 3 months. So I decided yesterday, while getting back to the gym for the first time, I'm just going to go super hard. And I am so tired.
Is it like a good tired? I mean, do you feel, because I know how you feel when you don't go to the gym for a little bit, you get that like kind of pent up energy. Like, do you feel that relief and like serotonin came? Or are you just tired? You just want to.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that. It's a tired that I know I need, because my mind does not work nowhere near as actively as when it's not doing anything. Like after I left out there, I felt a whole lot more calm, accomplished a little bit. I felt like, did something to take care of myself, which I was really excited about and everything. It's a tired that I actually aspire for, because it's a tired that allows me to not think so crazy.
An aspired tired.
Yeah.
It's like a good rolls off the tongue.
Yeah, an aspired tired. Like I love this. I love this kind of tired, because I know like I'll be so tired that like I won't over explain myself. I won't talk too much. Like I'll just be like straight to the facts, and like I'll be like, oh yeah, that's what I was trying to get to. Okay, cool. And it makes me more focused for some reason. Like I become a lot better listener. So yeah, it's a great tired. But it's funny, like, so a little bit into like what my physical journey has looked like too. Like here's a thing that's been like helping to fuel that. So I think I told you, like, so I started with this dietitian. So we were talking, and out like one of the things she wanted me to do was the first week she was like, Ryan, I want you to like take pictures of like, each meal that you're eating and stuff like that, so I can have like a little bit of an understanding of what you're drinking and eating and stuff like that. And she was like, one thing I'll ask you to be transparent. And I was like, what are you talking about? She was like, some folks will like only take pictures of like their good meals, and like, or she was like, and if you do eat junk, like it's okay, take the picture. And I was like, fuck. And like as she said it, I was like, I'm glad you said that, because I think that's exactly what I would have done. And so anyway, so like one of the cool things it did is it made me aware, as I was like, because I was still stressed at the moment. I ate like popcorn, I ate cookies one time at night, and I was looking at it, and I was like, I was looking at what I was doing through her eyes, and I was like, this ain't good. Like, I know this isn't helping me out. And like, but it was like when I'm on autopilot, or when I'm in that stressed out, like I'm not even in a slight bit of awareness of that shit. So anyway, so I get up there, I show her all the pictures, and like, or like it goes straight to the app, so she's able to see them. So we meet last week, and she was like, all right. I said, all right, look, I took those pictures, and I wrote like a note, like, I'm not particularly proud of this. And so, and she started laughing. She's like, no, it's okay. She's like, I'm glad that like you said this, that you did these things, because like it's a good awareness to have. So really, I was really appreciative of that. So then like now we're talking, and she was just like, so here's like where my physical journey has come. And she was just like, yo, like, so I was kind of like doing some calculations just based off of like the amount of working out that you do, and how much activity you have, like, and that's not even including my job. And she was like, and Ryan, I was doing some calculations, and I was thinking like, in order for like you to really be like fully sustained, you're going to need to eat probably between like 2,600 and 3,000 calories a day. And I was stopped, and I was like, that's a lot of thousands, man. She just started laughing. And so all of a sudden I was looking at my food, and I was just like, I haven't been eating nowhere near that, have I? And she was like, no. And it was so cool to be able to like see that. And so she was like, Ryan, like, you have been severely under eating. Wow. Like, no wonder you're not able to feel like you're as into it as you want to be. Like one of the things she had told me too, like, and I don't think I told you this, she was telling me about like, because I was telling her like after tennis matches, I eat terribly. I was like, I'll get donuts, I'll get I'll get cookies, like anything. And she was like, yeah, Ryan. She was like, and I'm realizing it's probably because you're so glucose deficient that your body is just like, your brain is just like, sugar, cool, that's what I need. And she was like, but what'll help is like after those matches so that you won't make those decisions, like eat a banana, eat an apple. That'll kind of like help calm you down. And I was like, this is all good information. It was one of those things where like I've noticed it but didn't know what to do about it. So I was really grateful for her to say that. So anyway, so when she said those 3,000 calories, and I was like, I don't know that much food to eat to actually like.
It's going to be a full-time job.
So I was over there like, well, what the hell do I eat? That's a lot of stuff to eat, man. But one of the things she told me that really hit me hard, because I was telling her like, I know a certain weight that I'm playing at when I'm playing at optimally, where I'm both strong and fast and like quick and like just, I'm feeling great. I know I'm doing great. And I was telling her it's between like 208 and 215, which I have not been able to get to that in the last year or so. And she was telling me something that was really good to hear. And she was like, well, Ryan, what happens is when you're not eating enough based off of your activity, which you do a lot, which in a lot of ways, I don't feel like I'm that active. So
Sorry, continue.
Because I guess what I consider activity, what I don't consider activity, other folks consider high octane activity. And I'm just, because I don't look at tennis as a workout. I'm like, yeah, this is just a game. Cool. I don't look at yoga as a workout. Like, this is just stretching. Like, I'm cool. And so I'll straight up tell folks only work out 2 to 3 times a week, until I started saying, I also play tennis 2 or 3 times a week. And that's not even training with my coach, which we're going to get back to, or yoga or work. And so anyway, so what she was telling me was like, when you're not eating enough, what happens is like your metabolism essentially just cuts itself off. And that could also be a reason. And like, it felt so wild to be like, I'm not at the weight I probably should be at because I'm not eating enough.
You mean like you're not at the lower weight?
Lower weight that
because you're not
know,
eating enough.
Yeah,
That's
I'm not
funny.
eating enough.
I get what you mean.
And I'm just like, and I was talking with Mike about, I was like, Mike, this girl done sat back and said 3,000 calories. And Mike was like, Ryan, I don't think she's wrong, bro. I was like, no, I'm not saying she is, but that's crazy. He was just like, and like, so now like a lot of my journey has been to not like that next, when I heard that, I was like, I can go ham. I went straight to McDonald's.
I literally was thinking the same thing. I was like, Ryan can eat so much. Like, what would I eat if I was him? Like,
I mean,
I think that's the appropriate thing to do in that circumstance when you get news like that. Yeah, you celebrate that.
That night, I went straight to McDonald's, and Lucy, I kid you not, I got 2 cheeseburgers, I got a large fry, I got a side McChicken, and I got a large ass Sprite, and I was like, fuck yeah. And then I felt terrible the next morning. I was like, why did I do this? And so I've been trying to figure out lately, like, what is the balance of having that much calories, however, making sure I'm like staying healthy with my eating. So she like sent me some few recipes and stuff like that. And I was pretty excited, actually. And one of the things she told me too, because I was showing her my food, and she was like, I imagine, Ryan, she was like, let me ask you a question. Like, do you feel satisfied when you eat? And I was like, what do you mean? She was just like, do you like enjoy your meals, or are you just eating just to fuel? And I was like, well, if you want to ask it like that, like, fuck no, I'm not enjoying these meals. Like, I'm just eating them, because they're stress, because money, but also like just trying to just get it down so I can go and do what I got to do. And she was like, that also might be a reason why you're not really wanting to cook too, or do these different things, is that you're not even enjoying what you're eating. Like as much as it's about being healthy, like you have to also enjoy. She's like, what do you enjoy? I was like, I mean, she was like asking me this question, like, do you like sauces? Do you like, I was like, girl, hell yeah, I love sauces. I was like, anything that comes with the sauce, I'm eating that shit, bro. Like, I can't wait. I can't tell you how many sauces I have to get when I go to Bojangles or Chick-fil-A or something like that. It's insane. I was like, when I make my own chicken nuggets, my own salmon nuggets, I make my own garlic aioli sauce, and that shit's fucking amazing. And she was just like, yeah, I can see your excitement. And I was like, yeah, it's amazing. And so she was like, you gotta be.
Your eyes were just so sincere right then. Like you look like a little kid.
I'm telling you, I like
sauce.
when I get sushi, I'm just like, fuck yeah. Like someone will be like, yeah, you put that in soy sauce, and I'm like, no, that shit drips off too much. Give me that damn, give me that spicy mustard, that spicy mayo sauce. That shit sticks on there like a damn honey, dog.
Fair,
I love it.
Fair.
And so I was like, yeah, anything that I can put
definitely
sauces
salivating right now. So, and like, we'll continue.
So she was like, Ryan, like, so I'm gonna challenge you these next few weeks too, like. Make you some food and get yourself a sauce so you can actually enjoy your food, so that you'll actually want to eat and be healthy. That was such a different, because in my family, like, we're either only going to enjoy our food or like that. That's pretty much the only thing. Food should only be like just this enjoyment. Now, the problem is that, you know what food is the most enjoying?
Deep fried.
Any food you find at the North Carolina State Fair is the best and most enjoyable food of all time. And so I like to still eat like that, but I want to make sure there's a balance. So like I tried that salmon burger idea where I just kind of like, I made some salmon, then I like got some basil paste, which I've never gotten in my life. And I got like an avocado and I put my sauce up there. And I think for the first time in a while, I was like smiling while I was eating.
Wow.
And I was like, damn, this is good. Like, cause I haven't been doing that for myself. And so that physical journey of like, all right, so now it's going to come down to giving myself variety, which is what she said. Like, she was like, and I imagine if you keep making the same thing over and over, like you're not excited about that either. I was like, fuck no, I'm not. And so, to have, what I'm saying, all of that has been huge for me right now. Wow. So I'm really excited about that journey and to even hear like, it's not that I'm doing too little, it's that I actually need more to fuel myself. That's a concept that I've never heard growing up. Definitely, like, if you want to achieve something, like, you got to do less. But apparently, I mean, I'm a very active person. I never would have guessed that. So, and a lot of people I meet are trying to lose weight, so their calories have to always be lower. I'm not. Like, actually, a lot of my weight has been fluctuating because I'm not eating enough. So that's a really cool thing for me physically this week.
I love all the insight that she gave you. I mean, she's hitting it from every angle. Like, she's looking at your overall needs and filling, is your tank getting full? And then she's looking at how can this be pleasurable, which is so huge for just like your life enjoyment, but also that helps. There's studies that show like the more you enjoy your meal or sit down with it or take your time with it, the more it's better digested and you get more nutrients from it and stuff like that. Really? Yeah, that's like, I think I've shared before that we kind of have two stages, fight or flight, but then, which we hear about, but what's the other? Rest and digest. So it's like, and I think it's like when I was getting into those salads a lot, it was because my functional medicine practitioner had said, when you sit down, take time with your meal. And that's like, if you don't have time to sit down with it, don't force yourself to eat it, because you can be doing yourself a disservice almost. Like, if you're eating in fight or flight, it's not very good for, See, that's wild, because that's one thing Mike has said too. He was just like, Ryan, like, 'cause I think he was like, I imagine that your mind is saying, I'm eating to fuel for something. And that's really what it is. Like, as you may know, like, I have that real competitive athletic mindset of just like, I'm going to eat so I can be ready for this next thing. Like, I think somewhere along the line, eating to enjoy just
went away. And so it's good to be able to hear that and know like, oh, that's okay too.
Yeah. And I think you reminded me of something. This is a little spiritual, so I know we're in the physical section, but hopefully the host will allow it. So I have thought over the past couple of months, like, how can I love being on earth as opposed to the other me that was kind of like, oh my God, I'm so over this. Why am I here? Don't send me back again. Like, this is annoying. This is bullshit. Like that kind of. So I've been trying to embrace the other side because I'm here. So I might as well like kind of roll with it. Right?
And if all cards play out, you'll be here for a while.
Right. So let's kind of like start adjusting, now. So I've been thinking, because part of my obsession is like being like non-physical, like where there's no pain, where there's all joy, where it is a spiritual place. I seek that. So I ask myself, well, when I'm non-physical, what are things that I might not be able to do that I can do here on earth that I might miss? And why don't we savor those right now? And a big one that hit me was eating.
Really?
I don't know if you can eat when you're non-physical. I mean, you don't have a physical body to fuel. Food is physical. I mean, who knows, right? These are infinitely debatable questions, but it did make me think, wow, what if only during this lifetime I get to do this? So let me just start really viewing it at this fun and enjoying and entertaining and pleasurable experience that I can savor, because I may not have it forever. It may not be something I can do when I'm in heaven. Maybe I can't eat ice cream in heaven, I better eat it now.
And like, I think that's one thing I have been thinking about too. Like my like we have these senses, and man, like what a gift to be able to be given these senses, to be able to truly just like, it's like you said though, I've got to just lean into this life and enjoy it. Like this, everything isn't like, even my food is all goal based.
Wow.
So I'm saying all these things out loud.
Yeah, you're shifting your goal to be pleasure and enjoyment instead of like production or athletic, whatever.
Which ironically enough will help me to be able to be better athletically and competitively. Like, but like now there has to be that balance though, because I know some grandparents go, all right, well, we're gonna eat these chitlins then. That's about 1,000 calories right there. All right, well, Jesus Christ. So I'm like, I want to make sure there's some greens going on inside of me as well, and like that, like I'm fueling myself with. You can put any kind of liquid in a car, but the thing it goes for the most is brake fluid, oil, gas,
high quality too.
Yeah, engine coolant. That's what kind of keeps it rolling. So like, you don't want to just put, you could put water in that shit, but it'll fucking break down. Like, so,
wow.
So it's kind of like that same kind of ordeal where it's, like I said, and ironically, it'll help me to be able to enjoy the things that I enjoy that get me through the tough times.
Yeah.
Which is wild. I mean, how it all kind of comes together. So.
Yeah. Yeah, it like feeds on each other.
Yeah, it all feeds.
Ha ha ha.
Look at that.
That's the theme.
What about you though?
So last thing I'll say before I go to me is that I giggle so much when you say things like, I don't even really, do that much, because I have gotten the enjoyment of being a witness to this for 4 years now or something, have we been close? And so I just had a conversation with my mom about it when I visited Charlotte a couple weeks ago. She was saying, she was talking about one of her friends, and she was like, it's fascinating how different people have different like capacities for things almost. And she was explaining how they do something and then her friend goes and, does something else or whatever, and how that's not her capacity. And I said, well, let me tell you about my friend Ryan. And of course she knows you. And I was like, so we do the Wholism podcast, and Ryan then goes and plays tennis competitively, and frequently then goes to the library. And I do the Wholism podcast, and I go home and go to bed. And that would be the difference in our capacity. And that's what we were talking about, though, that it's okay. That it's not like I don't feel like I need to, like, we're different. You don't need to be doing what I'm doing. I don't need to be doing what you're doing. We've realized that over the years. Like, and it's just kind of wild to think of that's so different. Like, we're here at this same place right now, and then we are going to have very different rest of our days because of our needs, our personal needs. I just think it's interesting.
That is very interesting. That is, because in my head, I'm just like, I'm not even doing that much. So. Like, yeah.
And I'm sleeping. Yeah.
Man.
So yeah. Okay. Physically. So I have a new breath. Woohoo.
All right.
Okay. So you'll notice it's compiling some old ones, but that seems to be a consistent theme. I think lots of me is compiling on old me, right? So it makes sense that there'd be kind of like it's like a culmination breath. Okay. So I call it the banana breath.
The who?
The banana breath.
That's the reason why this.
No, this is so cool. Yes, guys, I do have a banana. Do you want to know how cool this is? I came up with this breath over the past week, but I didn't have a name for it. And earlier today, I was journaling and writing it down so I had it like clear for the podcast. And I was like, I should give it a name. And I looked at what it does, which I'm about to explain. And it basically puts your body in the shape of a banana one way and then the opposite way. Oh. And I go, oh my God, it's the banana breath. And my eyes looked up and I looked over to where I had my Wholism stuff packed to come to your house. And I had packed a banana. And I was like, that's so cool. I haven't eaten a banana in like 2 months. Like, I just bought one yesterday at the grocery store and packed it today. And maybe, I love my synchronicity.
You know what's crazy? I got bananas yesterday too. So, yeah. I think bananas are very important to our generation because I learned how to spell it because of that. Was it Gwen Stefani?
B-A-N. Oh, yeah.
B-A-N-A-N-A-S.
This
And
shit
like,
is bananas.
I think that is like, I think bananas are essentially what our generation is all about.
I love that you have a song because I have a song about bananas too. And mine was from when I was a little kid. There was this TV show that was Bananas in Pajamas. And it would go, bananas in pajamas are coming down the stairs. Bananas in pajamas are going everywhere.
Bananas have been a part of our lives for a long time.
And then the other big song about bananas, of course, is the A like tay, eight, apples and bananas. You do each vowel different. I like to eat apples and bananas, and you do each vowel. A like tay, eight,
I don't think I've ever done this in my life, but this sounds...
It was like how we learned vowels, I don't know, for wherever, wherever I was. we played O-lo, to, oat.
I've never heard this in my life. I am fascinated.
I can't, you get the gist.
I am all into that. That's really interesting.
Yeah.
What a great...
I'm like, what other songs are about bananas?
I looked at that with being able to get your mouth together for speaking. It's very fun. All right.
Yes. Okay. So what was I? Oh yeah, the breath. Yeah. I'm like, wait, my physical section was songs about bananas? That doesn't sound right. Okay, so it's an inhale. And basically what will happen is your body will end up like concaved like a banana. Mm-hmm. And then on the exhale, your body is like expanded like a banana the other way. So when you inhale, you point your toes. You release your pelvic floor. You contract I'm just trying to think it would be easier to do the exhale first. Okay. Because the inhale is almost like the opposite of the... Okay. So it might be easier to understand. Okay. Erase this. And so we're going to exhale first. You flex your heels. So that is straightening. But basically you flex your heels. You contract your pelvic floor. You contract your trapezoids and you tilt your head back. So you will end up basically shaped like a banana backwards. So
do you want to be sitting upright or do you want to be laying down?
So you can do it laying down, standing, or sitting. Okay. It's really all mental. I was playing with it today, and I feel like a good way to get it the first time is to lay down because you can feel all of these muscles and you can feel how your back is like arching and you can feel yourself shaping like a banana, like very well laying down.
So like mentally.
Good question. Yes, good question. Okay, so you exhale. Flex your heels, contract your pelvic floor, bring your trapezoids together and tilt your head back. And then you inhale, basically doing the opposite, pointing your toes, releasing your pelvic floor, releasing your trapezoids, and tilting your head forward. And then you exhale, flexing your heels, contracting your pelvic floor, bringing your trapezoids together, which are the muscles on the back of your back, tilting your head back. And then you inhale, pointing your toes, releasing your pelvic floor, releasing your trapezoids, and tilting your head forward.
So here's my question then. Let's say you're doing this on your back. Would you want your lower back to be lifted up when you're inhaling, and then you want it to be on the floor when you're exhaling?
Pushing against the floor, exactly.
Okay.
That's great question. And you can even, that's a really great question. Yeah, it's like a pushing versus an arching. Yeah.
That's interesting.
So I'll do it the last time, and then I'll just do it to the count of 4, because it's technically 4 places you touch on your body. So that helps. So exhaling for a count of 1, flexing heels, a count of 2, flexing the pelvic floor, a count of 3, bringing the trapezoids together, a count of 4, tilting the head back, and inhaling, pointing the toes, releasing the pelvic floor, releasing the trapezoids, and tilting the head forward. And it just is a total expansion and contraction, and just, I am finding when I am doing that specific breath that I am no longer experiencing pain doing like yoga poses or stretches or working out or picking up my dog or picking up something heavy or just like anything throughout my day. Mm-hmm. If I am aware of and doing this breath, then I feel good.
Wow.
And what I've noticed, what's helping me is when I feel something physically hurt, I'm like, oh, wait, let me do the breath. And it like auto corrects it. So it's really cool. The only frustrating part has been like, I know that it corrects it. It's just hard to do it all the time. So I'm like, damn it, I know I'm in pain right now, but I just really don't feel like arching my back, even though that will make me out of pain. It's like, because it is like, here's an example. I last night was lying in bed, and I like my legs were in pain, and then I was like, oh, I know what to do. Just flex my heels. For me, I'm someone who's been doing the banana going forward too much. So my pendulum needs to be swung, and I am at a place where I need to spend more time doing the arching back banana. That like feels good on my muscles. But I found out when I was doing it last night laying in bed, like I felt great. My heels were flexed, my pelvic floor was contracted, my trapezoids were back, my head was tilted back, and I was like, I feel perfect, but how can I possibly sleep because I'm like flexing all of my muscles? So I got a pillow to put under the arched part of under my back, and I slept like that, and I slept better than I've slept in a while.
Oh, wow.
So it's just something I'm really having fun playing with, the banana breath.
See, I love a good pillow that has a function. I've been on beds where there's decorative ones, and I'm just like, they're about to get kicked off. But however, I have like a body pillow.
I was just gonna say a good body pillow.
Like I think when like I really I think I spend a lot of time with like my back almost in the exact opposite. It's funny, in the exact opposite of like what you're saying you need to do. Like a lot of mine is really like super whatever the other one that you've been doing. Like, so I have to, I got to remember to like bend the opposite way, pushing my lower back like into the ground. And when I do that, like, it's just a crazy release. Wow. However, like when I go to sleep, I'm a side sleeper / stomach sleeper at times. And my back is just always just bent down in that way. So like my body pillow, I like grab onto it, and like it helps me to kind of like curl over a little bit. I don't take up much of the bed. Like, it's so sad.
Are you like fetus position
style
like, sleeper? Oh, that's so cute.
And I don't think
because you're so giant is why it's so cute.
Yeah, I think
picturing you so tiny.
Yeah. Like it has shocked me like how smaller people will like take up so much of the bed, and I'm just like, what the hell is going on with y'all, man? Like, I'm sleeping in my little corner. I'm like, I got this. Like, I'm good.
Because I'm that, yeah. I'm 5'4", and I take up the entire king bed. Some nights I literally sleep with like an X, like arms out, legs out. Like I take up, no matter how it happens, I will take up the whole bed.
I am good to like hold that pillow, and I will be on my little side, and I will be so like, I'll take up like a quarter of the bed. I'm like, yeah, this is a good night. Now probably like throughout the night, that might change, but how I'm getting to bed, I am.
Oh yeah.
That's hilarious. Huh. Anyways.
Okay.
All right,
so what have you been up to? Or wait, no. You asked the questions, right?
It's been so long, y'all. But what Lucy was basically saying is we're now getting to the mental section. All right, so we're in the mental section, and this time we'll have you start off this time, Lucy.
Okay. So mentally, emotionally, for me, it has been about embracing anything new. Well, I'll say it kind of comes before that. We're about to have summer solstice, so the seasons are changing.
Oh, 21st.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And with the seasons changing, so this has historically for me been a really hard time. I love summer. It's my favorite time of the year. It's my favorite time of anything. It's all yeah. I love summer. So historically, this has been a hard time of the year for me. I have noticed that starting maybe like 4 years ago and started paying attention to that. So this year I am like very aware and very ready, going in, soaking up every single day of summer that's left, 100%. And then when it switches to fall, I'm ready. I'm going to, because that's where I usually start resisting. I go, oh, I wish it was still summer. I don't like this. And that's what creates the pain. And I just don't have to do that, right? It's totally created by me. I could just enjoy fall. What a concept. What hard work I have to do. But it is. I mean, it's something that requires awareness for me. So I am ready and excited to go into this fall embracing it. And so I've been thinking, well, how can I do that? Well, fall is a lot about change. The nature, the trees shed their leaves. It is a big season of change. And so I've been like, okay, well, I'm embracing change then. That works. And I thought, well, change historically for me, maybe other people, has had a bit of a negative connotation. Like, oh no, I wish things wouldn't change. I'm afraid to change, whatever. And I started thinking, why does that word have a negative connotation? Because almost in the same way that I had viewed fall as negative. Like, we're just creating our own resistance around it. Mm-hmm. And I started thinking change really is just newness. Anything new must come with change, right? Basically, the word new, which for me, and maybe I feel like for many others, has a very positive connotation. What if I translated that connotation onto change? Because essentially, change has to have something new in it. Like anything that is new has changed, mm-hmm. right? Do you see how parallel those words are?
Yeah.
And I don't know. I had never thought about that. And then I also think change, like literal change, coins, is mm-hmm. positive, right? It's just to throw in a kicker. But I really was like, oh my God, it's like change equals new. So I'm going into the season of fall embracing anything new, aka change. And that helps me feel really positive about this. Are you following? You're looking at me kind of confused.
So, like, the question I was going to ask, like, so one of the things, like, I was thinking about was, like, the embracing of change and fall. Like, that's dope. But, like, what are, like, some activities you think you'll do to, like, get you a little bit more in the fall mood? 'Cause I know sometimes, like, the first thing that came to my head is that, like, I get excited for fall because the weather is going to be nicer, and I can't wait to go to the fair, or I can't wait for, like, this to happen and that to happen. I'm going to try this stuff out. It's going to be a little bit more festivals out there, and I'm going to go embrace myself, and I'm going to go, like, get myself into those so that I can actually embrace the actual moment. Like, so I'm curious, like, what do you feel like you'll do to like help embrace it?
Well, now all of those things. I like this question. I hadn't really thought. I had just gotten like baby steps because I already feel like resistance with, like, you were like, oh, the weather's nicer. And inside I was going, no, it isn't. Summer's better weather. And you were going, and like whatever you said, I was like, no, summer's better. No, summer's better. So I think for me, it's just going to be a lot of just like, I think a lot of it is going to happen once it's fall. Like, I literally can't even think about anything other than embracing new until like the actual day comes, and then let's play more.
Okay, all right, yeah, because I was curious.
But I love this. I'll start thinking about. I mean, that I like that you are thinking of it as something to be excited about.
Yeah, like I think like that's where I was like kind of at, and you kind of made me start thinking about like whenever I do like want to embrace something, like I start trying to do something that's associated with it, like in that. Like, I'm not a big Thanksgiving, Halloween person, but yeah.
Sorry, you just reminded me that my birthday, I forgot.
Oh yeah.
That's slightly positive. When you said Thanksgiving, I was like, oh yeah, my birthday. Yeah. So that'll be fun.
And like,
there we go.
Yeah, like there are some things that like, I don't know, I try to like find some, like, I guess as you're saying that, it's reminding me like if I'm struggling with something, which I know I tend to do, like what's something I can do to like lean, like what's an activity I can do that'll lean me more into it instead of just trying to just say like, all right, like I want to do this. Well, like, you know, and so I was, I know like Janae is like really excited for, she's like, right, I got a house and all these different things and we're gonna decorate for fall. And I was like, I don't want to do that. And like, but I get excited for her excitement. So like, it's one of those things where it's like, it was only we were talking about like what vehicle are you driving. It's what I was starting to think about, like, oh, habits and like what are some things that people do to like and like kind of have all the fall stuff and everything. Yes. But like just to kind of like embrace the fact that I'm gonna change my mind on it, I think is probably a really dope thing too. I see what you mean by that too. Like, let's just focus on this right now. So
yeah, I like that though. It makes me think of the 3 A's, like awareness, acceptance, action. Mm-hmm. Like I've moved through, I've become aware of this pattern. I'm in an acceptance time this year. Mm-hmm. I'm very aware. I'm accepting it. I'm moving in, and then will come like the action. Like
yeah. Like I like that. Yeah, you like the awareness. You said you feel like you're in the awareness part?
The awareness came the past couple of years when I was like, hey, this is a hard time of year for me. And this is the acceptance, like, all right. Well, it's kind of an action too. It's just, but yeah, it's like accepting.
What do you think acceptance is going to look like?
Acceptance, that's what I was just playing with in my head. And I know what it is. It's that fall is here. That has been my thing that I could not accept in the past. I just wouldn't. And that would create resistance and that would create pain and suffering for me. So that's really my big step right now, is accepting that fall is arriving.
I think that, I think that's where like I was understanding what you're saying, where the thought came from, because that was how I feel about Christmas.
Really?
Yeah. Remember like a few years ago, like I was telling you, like Christmas always reminded me of how kind of alone I've kind of felt my entire life. So I just got to the point where I stopped celebrating, or like I'm always doing things by myself. And I was just like, fuck it. Like, I'm not going to decorate. I'm not going to do anything. Like, even though I'm a fan of it, like I lost everything that made it fun and everything. And that's when I had been suggested to get a Christmas tree. And I was like, I ain't doing that shit. But I did it. I thought it was fucking stupid at the time. And then I got it and I was like, at the time, I think like one time I looked up one night and I was like, damn, that looks like, I don't know, for some reason, like I felt like God was there. I don't know why. And then that's when I came up with like, all right, how else can I try to learn to like embrace this? And like, what is the thing that makes me not want to embrace it, is the fact that I always feel like I'm been doing Christmas and everything alone and by myself for most of my life. So that's what was stopping me from doing it. And then that's when I started putting the Christmas tree decorating party together. And even then,
which is now a tradition.
Which even then, I didn't even know what the fuck I was doing. Thank God I told folks what I'm trying to do. And then you and a lot of other people showed up and was just like, yeah, we're going to do it like this. You can do it like this. And we can have this. And I'm just like, just to be able to like say, this is what I'm struggling with. This is what I'm doing. And then like take some kind of thing to help me to be able to embrace it. And then I got to feel the love that I felt like I had been missing. Like, wow. But I guess to like sit in the acceptance of why do I not want to embrace it? That was something.
You know what? It was so big. You just helped me see like another clarity of like, yes, I've seen this is a hard time for me and all that stuff, but like again, with kind of like the why that you came up with yours. And I know exactly why, because it always meant the party was over, back to school, no more fun, no more pool, no more beach, no more vacation. So I guess what I can do, I know what I can do as an adult is in fall, continue to have fun, have parties, have vacation, find a way to go to the pool and the beach, right?
Find
water, you know?
Find a way to do something like that.
So, yeah, that's what it is. It used to mean an ending of all those things for me. And so those are the things that I can carry with me, and that can help a lot.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's an interesting thing.
Insightful. I guess we got to have a party.
Yeah. My goodness, do you throw them? I mean, you did it just last year for the cake thing with the key.
Oh my gosh, my epiphany party
Yeah.
that I was inviting 40 people to, and I was so nervous because I didn't want that many people to come, so I didn't send out invitations till 3 days before, and so only 6 people showed up. Talking about swinging your pendulum. But we 6 had a lot of fun.
We had a great time.
Okay, so what have you been up to mentally, emotionally?
I don't know. Like, it's been kind of a weird week. So as much as I've been feeling down, I've been feeling myself gravitating towards encouraging music. So that's been fun. So I'll like tell you the 2 things that have kind of like been hitting me. So I kept listening to one of a great artist that people talk about a lot is this artist. Her name is Carrie Hilson. And she came out and like, she was like large for like writing a lot of hit songs. She's a great writer. And she had this song though that like kind of like made me happy for some reason, even though it has nothing to do with me. It's a ladies anthem, but Pretty Girl Rock is a dope ass song, man. So, and like just everything about it was,
Pretty Girl Rock? That's who did that?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so like the video was always really dope where she like paid a lot of, homage and love and respect to like a lot of black female artists who have been like instrumental in like pushing envelopes as far as artistry and stuff like that. And so she dressed like TLC, she dressed like Janet Jackson and Rhythm Nation, she dressed like so many other people and like kind of just like gave that whole thing. And I was like, damn, this shit is like, I don't know why it was just making me just like happy. And like it was funny because I was laughing. I was like, yo, like there's a lot of songs like that a lot of guys like, but like due to the stigma, we're just like, we gotta like bump these like in our houses alone because no one will take us serious. But
I'm picturing you jamming to your Meghan Trainor songs
Yes.
like you like to do.
I'm like it's like I'm just like, bruh, these shits are dope. So like, but there's some like that song was just making me feel good. And then this other artist released something. His name is Killer Mike, and he had this, and it was a deluxe album based off something he had put out earlier. And like his, something he had said just kept like hitting me. And he had said something like, I'm trying to bring about the dreams in my unconscious mind. And I was just like,
Wait, say it again.
He said, I'm trying to bring about the dreams in my unconscious mind. Actually, let me look.
Wow.
I think that's what
so
he said.
deep. I'm like trying to grasp it.
Yeah, like to be honest, like I don't remember if that's exactly what he said. But no, he said, I'm trying to bring about the dreams, and he said he said I'm trying to bring about some dreams, something, that I have only thought about in my unconscious mind. And that's what he said. And like that really, really, really like resonated with me. It's because like, and just the way that that's why I love like rap. It's a very raw art form. And so like he, was very just kind of like, very passionate about it. And I think that's something that like I needed to hear a little bit. So a lot of very passionate artistry or a lot of very passionate things have really been like hitting me hard. Let me see if I can find this thing. So he said, so this is what he said. He said, I'm open mind, but I do not walk with non-aligned. And
with non-aligned,
yeah,
like alignment, my favorite word.
Yeah.
I do not walk with non-aligned people.
He said,
my God!
I'm open-minded, but I'm not gonna walk with non-aligned. And then he said,
"That's my new favorite quote." Oh my God!
Ain't that crazy?
That's like life. That's like how I try to live my life.
Ain't that wild to just and the way he says it is just so incredibly raw that it's just like, and the way the beat goes and the way he flows on it, like you're, even if you don't hear the words, you just feel something. And that's always the beautiful part in it. And he said, I'm trying to manifest some things of my subconscious mind that I have only seen in dreams of my unconscious mind. And I was just like, I'm gonna say it again, people that didn't really, because I sometimes have a strong. He said, I'm trying to manifest some things of my subconscious mind that I have only seen in dreams of my unconscious mind. I mean, that is just, it was so incredibly
whoa.
It's
very
so deep.
Yeah.
And so I've just been playing that over and over and over, and I can't stop listening to it because I think that's what it feels like my higher power is trying to talk to me about lately. Like, let's start to bring some of this out, because whenever I start to feel overwhelmed, I start to go towards music and people that are able to take that pain and like try to elevate it. So a lot of, I was looking at a lot of the comments on the Pretty Girl Rock song. Like, a lot of girls sometimes don't feel like they're pretty, especially young Black girls, and like they said, like, this made me feel good about myself. Like, and so, even just the song, and it was just happy, and then like hearing him, it just was freaking dope. But a big thing, so that was been a big thing for me mentally this week. A bigger thing though, you about to ask something?
Yeah. So I'm curious to know a little bit more about what that's sparking in you. Like, how does that talk to you? What is it stirring? How is it resonate with you? Like, what does it resonate with you?
That's a great question. Fire. There's one. It tends to resonate. There's some fire that comes from that. This feeling of it's not all for nothing. I think I a lot of times really need to feel that like all of this stuff is not for nothing, and that there something good can happen. Because the song starts off where he says, have you been tried in the fire? Like, but to hear that particular part of it that says, I'm trying to manifest some things of my subconscious mind that I've only seen in dreams of my unconscious mind. I mean, there is just something that I just, sometimes when I see, dreams have always been really big to me. So, but dreams seem so, when I go to sleep and dreams happen, they seem so insane to even think could be something. And then to have him even say, like, I'm trying to manifest some things of my subconscious mind. So that hit me of just like, there are some things I can't even think about that are so deep down in there that I'm trying to bring up out of me too.
Ooh, okay. Oh, they gave me goosebumps all over. That's what I was, yeah.
And so,
wow.
And so, like, as you've said before, like, get myself in a place where vibrationally, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, where I can handle those things that are buried down so deep that even God would be like, bro, if you knew what all was you're really capable of, like, it's insane. And so to hear, I'm saying all this out loud now too. And, you know, to manifest something of your subconscious mind, I'm just like, you don't even know that it's even, you don't even know what it even is.
Oh, like, there's so much potential in that.
And
I
it
feel
can be
it.
so much bigger. And like, just, and then like, you know, because as he said, like, you only, like, your dreams probably show you your subconscious mind. So that I'm trying to manifest some things in my subconscious mind that I've only seen in dreams in my unconscious mind. None of these things he's seeing, he's not even the slightest bit aware of, but he is knowing it's possible. So that's like what that kind of wakes up in me, of just like, there's so many things that I want to get to, aspire to. There's so many that I can't even think about. And I just, it kind of just makes me go like, there's so many rules that get placed as to what's acceptable, what isn't, what doesn't, what's going to work, what's not going to work. And I feel like it's always limited a lot of things. And to hear that and just say, nah, bruh, it can be so much bigger, so much better. Go do it the way that you saw it. You're going to bring about something that is something no one's ever seen. You just don't even know what it is yet. Like, that's freaking wild to me. And it inspires me to trust my gut, keep being instinctual. When be the change too.
Whoa. Be the change. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Wow.
Quit trying to wait for it to always happen. It's just like when I read that Martin Luther King letter, like, they kept telling him, this is not the time for this. And he was like, that's enough. And so, you know, it inspires me to go like, I don't like the way that's happening. It's happened to me. I don't like the way that feels. But someone else might tell me, well, that's just how it normally goes. Fuck that. It wakes that up inside of me. To bring about some things that actually help me, help the world. And I don't even know really what it's even gonna be like. So that it kind of wakes up inside of me. And then you hear like your Pretty Girl Rock, and it's just like there's this feeling of just like, yo, like, nah, you dope. Like, just trust you. Like, all those women that she portrayed, like, that was new. That was dope. Like, it's legendary. Like, they still wear Janet Jackson Rhythm Nation costumes for Halloween to this day. And so, and who knows who that's impacting. So I think sometimes I need to remember those things. Like, that's what that kind of wakes up in me. Like, nah, keep trusting God, keep trusting where this thing is leading, even though I have no clue where it is leading. So that's one thing it does wake up in me. And that's what, like, it's funny you asked me that, because that gives me to like the next thing that really impacted me. So there's been a guy who's been taking college football by storm, and his name is Deion Sanders, and he started coaching Colorado University. Came in there, he came from an HBCU, brought a lot of kids from a historically black college and university up to this school, which traditionally, I even went to one, they've always kind of like looked at as second tier schools, and like, you know, they can't really play in the NFL. They're not playing against great competition and stuff like that. So even when he brought these kids up, he's just like, why are you bringing these kids up? That was kind of like they didn't say it, but it was phrased of, he needs better talent. And he was just like, nah, we got it. Like, his son is the quarterback. His other son plays on defense. So I'm like, oh shit. So this past week was a huge, Deion has always been very boisterous, like, just kind of out there. I mean, probably one of the best athletes, if not the best athlete ever. It's within a 3-day span, this dude had played in 2 baseball World Series games and an Atlanta Falcons professional football game. This was within 3 days. That's
I remember hearing like
insane.
Wow.
So he's showing up for this. So like, there's this huge kind of thing that happens this week with the Colorado State, who is their rival, which they were like, no one would ever give a shit about this game until Deion was there. And now, like, all of a sudden, like, Colorado has just become the talk of college. Like, so many people are just like, yo, this is just like freaking crazy. And he's got Lil Wayne doing walkout music. The Rock is showing up at pregame. ESPN is there. They're bumping other games to be like, nah, we want to see what Colorado going to be doing. Like, no one has ever given a shit about Colorado State until this week. And the Colorado State coach had said something. And one of the things I've noticed with Deion is that, like, he's, at least from people I've listened to on talk radio that have said, like, they've been around him, like, they said he is nothing but love. He does nothing but uplift so many people. And that's why so many kids want to come play for him, because, like, he's like, they're not just supposed to be better football players, which I can turn them into that, but I'm trying to turn them into outstanding men. Something that your parents can be proud of. And that's what I'm about. And you can see that in the way that these, he'll hug these kids. Like, I think there was one kid that, like, made a drop in that game, and you could see him, like, hug him and probably, like, also give him that same, like, stern, like, you better than this, dog. Like, and I feel that within myself, because I feel like that's kind of the kind of motivator I can be as well. And to kind of, like, see that was very encouraging. And so one of the things about him lately has been, like, he just comes up with one-liners out of nowhere. Like, they ended up winning that game. Like, everyone is just feel like just waiting for him to lose. And he keeps saying, like, he's very honest. Like, they came back to win, and he was just like, he was like, honestly, y'all, like, full transparency there. During this game, I kept thinking, man, ain't no way we can let this dude win this game. He said, there's just no way. He said, this press conference is going to be unbearable if this dude win this game. Because the guy came out there and was saying things like, when I come out, I take my hat off, I take my shades off, and I'm talking to adults. That's what my mother taught me. And so, because Deion will show up with, like, a hat and shades and, like, kind of be talking with people. And they were just, everybody was like, what? Why? And so, like, that just fired everybody up. And instead of Deion, like, trashing this dude, like, he went out, bought his players shades. Every last one of them. Every person on Sports Center, every person on ESPN who was there, he bought every last one of them shades. So every person up there is now wearing shades, and Deion's just like, this is what we do. But then he's
talking about throwing shade.
Yeah, I know, right? And so this dude, but he shows up and he's super prepared and he's super talented, and, like, he always backs it up every single time. And so I was inspired by that to ride, because, like, one of the things he did was when he made a lot of those moves to get all those kids to Colorado, it was so controversial and people did not like him for it. And then they were just like, how you gonna let your son come? He ain't really played against players like this. And I think after the first game, they beat a ranked opponent. And it was funny because his son said, like, I don't want to, like, I came from an HBCU, like, and to be honest, I've never thrown for more yards than until we played this team right here. This is the most I've ever thrown for. And he was just like, it ain't really that big of a difference. And so, like, a lot of people were really upset that there was some folks who hated he left Jackson State. Some folks that, and there was some folks that were just mad he was going to this other school, and so to Colorado. But he just kept saying, like, I've got to, like, there guys got a plan for me. Like, there's a plan. And, like, one of his slogans is, like, believe. And it was interesting press conference. Someone had said, like, how'd you get everybody to buy in? And he was like, I don't like that word, buy in. He was like, because that implies you're trying to sell them something. He said, what they do is these kids believe actually now. That's a difference. And so that has been super inspiring, because even when, like, this week they were up against it, if they'd have lost that game, it would have been, like, wild. And so, and they were down 11 points in the fourth quarter, and, like, it was wild to watch how they came back. I mean, and I was inspired by that too this week mentally, of just like being being a little bit more myself, but like knowing that this is kind of who I am, but I'm also full of nothing but love too. And you can look at me how you want to look at me, but you don't know who I am and what I'm doing for other people and stuff like that. And so it kind of gave me just this encouragement to, I would never say I'm arrogant, but I do try to walk with a certain like level of confidence and swag. Like even when I go play tennis, like there's a bit of a swaggiest type ordeal I kind of walk in there with, because you know, you look good, feel good.
You got to be confident.
Yeah. And sometimes a lot of that comes through look good, feel good, you know? And so, and I was telling my sponsor that this past week, and he was just like, Ryan, do you think you're gonna go your entire life without anybody not liking you? And I was like, I told him, I said, well, I've been attempting it. And he was just started laughing. I was like, yeah, it sounds ridiculous, but he's like, just embrace who you are. And I know who I am is loving and all these different things. And the music helped to wake that up a little bit more inside of me, to where like I can trust that. So I can walk on a tennis court a little bit more confidently. I can do a video and trust my instincts a little bit more. Like even when everyone else tells me that what I'm doing is 1,000% wrong and not the right way, I can do, as Killer Mike said, manifest some things in my subconscious mind that I have only seen in dreams in my unconscious mind. Like, so I was really encouraged. That was mentally kind of like where I was at this week.
That's so dope.
So, yeah, that's that. All right. So, time for the topic.
Topic time.
So, I was thinking about this week. And it kind of like goes, I guess, with a little bit of what we've been talking about, or what I talk about with like mentally stuff and everything. I had a situation where like I had to essentially talk with someone about like some boundaries and stuff like that, sponsor wise and stuff like that, and kind of like set a lot of these things. And I struggle setting boundaries only because a lot of and there's so many reasons as to why I could say that they are, and most of them come down to, most of my justifications would be, well, people just don't listen, yada yada. But what it comes down to a lot is, I'm afraid that when I set boundaries, people will leave my life. And so trying to do that a little bit better. So, but I also don't want to waste my time. So one of the things that I did, is I had to talk to him about like some things and stuff. And that was tough, because I was afraid. The real fear is that if I set this, you're going to leave. If I do something like this, you're going to leave. However, I had to show up and do it anyway to take care of myself, and also probably help him out too. Like, and so, but the thing that it like came up for me was this, I don't want to say it's even boundaries, like this fear of speaking on what I need, and then letting go of the result. Because one of the things I told him is, look, this is what we're going to need, this is what we're going to do. Here's like kind of what I require. But all I could do, I told him is, I said, look, I'm at least going to at least give you this information. Now, what you do with it, that's on you. But if we continue to do this, I'm going to need this to continue to happen. And that sounds so stern, so kind of like dickheadish, but I'm just also like, well, we're here for a certain reason. We're here to get certain things done. And one of the things I've been thinking about just like a lot is how uncomfortable that is, to be able to be and say and do those things, but also how much more confident I am in myself to be able to be like, dog, like, whether or not you decide to do this won't affect me anymore. Because I know that if you go, it has nothing to do with me. If you're not ready to do this work that's needed, it is what it is. I get it. Hopefully you'll come back when you're ready. And one of the things I told him, I said, one of the things that I don't at least want to do, I never want to leave out of here without having at least told you this. And that is, I feel drastically different than what I feel like I would have felt in the past. I had felt uncomfortable in the moment, but really I knew it was the right thing. And I said it with such love and such a difference. And I had to really face that. And it was kind of funny. Like his response was one of those ones where like it could be easy to react to, but I stopped myself and I took a breath and I just said, okay, well, if that's how you feel, like, that's okay.
Damn.
But it's all good. But here's still what I need. And I was able to do it with love. I was able to do it. And this is way different than where I expect this topic to go, because I thought it was going to be a whole lot deeper, but it's actually coming out to be where I feel like I did a pretty good job of it. So I'm curious, like, with you is like, some of these changes, like, have you noticed facing the same things, but how you feel afterwards, whether that be, let's say, like a day afterwards, instead of like spiraling, going down, where you actually feel encouraged and like relieved, and not even relieved, but like for me, I don't want to say I felt relieved, but I felt free in a way I've never felt. And so I'm like curious, like, but I had to face that same thing again that I'm constantly facing of, if I start, like, one of my fears is if I start telling you what I'm thinking, what I'm feeling, what I'm going to need, in my experience, people have just left. But what helped me out was that I have so many folks in my life that right now that are here, and I have so much love in my life. It's insane. So whether or not you choose to stay or not doesn't really, I'd love you to. And that was how I was feeling about it. Like, I would love you to. It's been great sitting back over here talking. But, and at the same time, this is what I'm going to need. So, and if it doesn't work out, it's all good. And like, the truth is, I'm not mad. And I wasn't saying that to try to convince myself of it. I truly, truly felt it, which was completely new for me. Wow. To truly feel it and truly mean it and truly say it with love. That's why what Dion was saying was impacting me so much, because I could almost feel in his heart of just like, I ain't got no, he was like, I don't have any animosity towards that coach. Like, I really do wish well for the dude, man. Like, I really do. I don't really know him like that. Like, I don't. Yeah, that was like, it was a chippy game, but I really do hope everything goes well for him. I really do. And like, I could feel that. And like, that's kind of like where I've kind of like been getting to, of just like being able to say, no, this is what I feel about you. And at the same time, this is what I'm going to need. And I'm not feeling nearly as overwhelmed by that. So I'm curious, like, if you've had any of those deep triggers that you've had to face again, that you feel way different about now.
This is cool. I love that you brought this up and shared your experience. And you bring to mind something that I wasn't planning on talking about and really haven't been. You're making me see I've been handling it in the way I decided I wanted to handle it. Like, I'm actually doing that, which I think is kind of what you're talking about, And interestingly enough, for me, it's been around funds and money. And a big breakthrough that came to me a couple weeks ago that I've been implementing, and I think that's where it comes, like, I've been actually doing it, is the idea that I don't need money for money's sake. I want money to buy groceries, to go on a trip, to do something. And when I was focusing on needing money for money's sake, because I felt lack and I felt depletion and I felt like I wasn't going to have enough, I realized that was where my focus was. I need money. That was what I was saying. But my breakthrough was, I don't need money. I need clothes. I need groceries. I need travel. I don't really need money at all. Maybe the universe will give me groceries for free. Maybe, it just made me realize my goal is not money. My goal is providing for myself. Wow. And if I could maybe stop focusing on needing money, and just pray or ask for or focus on or meditate on or visualize or all the things I was doing around money, do those around the things I actually want the money for. Do you see what I mean?
Wow.
It's a total shift in focus.
Wow.
And it's been liberating me a lot. It's making me feel like at the end of the day, like I just said, I don't have to have money for the rest of my life. I need clothes. I need groceries. I need a home. Who knows how they'll come to me? And I imagine money will be part of it. Yeah. But I don't actually need money. I need the things. So let me just put my focus there, have gratitude for them, have appreciation for them, do all my fun little tricks on the end goal instead of the means to get there.
Isn't that's such an interesting kind of shift in focus, which was what is it that I'm thinking that this thing will provide me?
Exactly.
And instead focusing on that. I remember I think I told you I did this exercise where people were writing down something that they want, and then there was these essences of feelings and stuff like that, and writing down what they essentially expected that thing to give them.
Wow.
And she was just see, that's what you're really needing, and you're just expecting that thing to give it to you. And so
ooh, that's exactly it.
Isn't that wild? And so I don't know. I know for me, it's allowed me to, as you were saying that, I was feeling, damn, why does relief the only thing that comes to my head? I know that's not it. Liberation from I was feeling liberation from feeling like I need to keep everybody in my life, which has been huge for me, because I have done so many things to try and do that. And I feel liberated from that to be yo, I would love to have you in my life. You actually bring such joy and things to it. However, if you go, I'm not going to fall apart. I would much rather you stay. However you feel like you need to go do this, go ahead.
Yeah.
And to be kind of to focus on like you said, with the money thing, I like that this person brings this into my life. I like that I get to get this from this person and go, all right, that's what I've really been feeding and going, all right, but I can get that in a lot of other ways.
Exactly. I love it. It's cool now to realize how parallel. So maybe it's an over. So I guess the overall concept is, it's focusing on what you need as opposed to what you want. Almost, it's I
think you would say
I don't know how to
perfectly before, focusing on the thing that you need as opposed to the means to get there.
Yeah. Okay, you're right. Said. Okay.
and it's so funny to be able to shift that, and it was, what was crazy for me was actually having those same feelings kind of come up as I'm speaking to him about these different things, and also going yeah, it's okay. I'm feeling very uncomfortable right now. However, it's we've said in Alan before, mean what you say what you mean, but don't say it mean. And I really did mean this. And before when having these conversations, I had been thinking about the negative and stirring in it for so long that that's all I was focused on. But, for everything that I have tried not to lose, it's been because I've been sad because I am going to miss this one thing about them when they're gone from my life. So I need to be honest and open and vulnerable enough to at least be able to express that to them, which I have not been in the past. Before it's been, hey, mother, you need to do this and this and this, because really what I want is this. I like this about you, and you leaving my life would take that away. I don't quite get them anywhere else. And instead I get to say those things. This is what I like, this is what I don't. And then still face that abandonment, because that's what the fear is too for me, is that like every time I've done it, that's exactly what's happened. And I can't say I'm not afraid of abandonment. However, I lean into it and go, I'm afraid of it. However, I'm going to do this shit anyway. I know that Deanna had to know buying those shades and giving them to his team was going to get back to those other players, and that shit was going to start a fire and piss everybody off. Yeah, I know that. But we're going to show up anyway and do this anyway, because this is also who I am. And so that's kind of what I was feeling like. That shift, it's changed to where it no longer paralyzes me.
Yeah.
And when it does come up, I get to go, not today. So yeah, I was just, I don't know. I was very curious as to, yeah.
That was cool. That was cool too, and how it brought out that concept and the parallel between us.
Yeah.
Like, that was cool. I love it.
Yeah, that's wild. So, yeah. So that was the only topic.
Check.
Check. I think that's the quickest we've gone through a topic in a really long time.
Hey, we are on the theme of doing something new.
Right? My God. And that is really freaking exciting. And so, yeah, I think that's a good thing. Maybe that says like we are really working some good stuff here. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. All right, y'all. Well, we'll go ahead and close out this podcast then. Higher power,
grant us the serenity to accept the things we cannot change, the courage to change the things we can, and the wisdom to know the difference.
All right.
Peace
see you
out.
next week.